Yep.
So teaching them the right tools and giving them the right tools and teaching them the right mindset to be in, that's going to resonate with them. And as a coach, you're a leader, you're a mentor. I have to make sure that I'm there for these kids just as much as if their parents were,
Yep.
because they're going to look up to me just as much, if not more, because I'm something of them that they look to upon to help them get out of a situation or get out of a hole. Right, when they're lifting weights and they're dead tired, or they're running on the field and they're dead tired, I'm the one that needs to be there to help them out. And for that, I need to make sure that I put the right mindset in them so that it can carry on in the future.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And that's what being a coach is about, man. That's it.
Yep.
Without that, you're not a coach. You just know shit.
Yep.
Big
For sure.
difference. And there's a lot of people that know shit, right? But they're shitty fucking coaches. They just can't convey it. They don't care enough, or they can't connect. They can't deliver the message. So then everybody's time is wasted. Now,
Yeah.
as coaching, so you coach world-class athletes also, right? That's a big part of it. You coach the cream of the crop. Joanna Jedrzejczyk and Dustin Poirier, Andrei Arlovsky, Tisha Torres, Junior Dos Santos, King Mo, Amanda Nunez. I say that because picture those athletes right now. Picture those fucking athletes. I mean, picture Tisha standing next to JDS.
Yeah.
Right? And you have to go and program for these two athletes. Tisha's not doing the same shit JDS is doing, and vice versa, right? All across the board. But the programs, the principles are the same, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, and we talked about this. You were at the seminar and, Fight Science Institute seminar. And what I usually state is that, the systems may remain the same, but the execution is subjective, right? I can have, Junior in the same group as Tisha, and they may be doing the same type of movement, maybe same type of even exercise, but the volume, the intensities may change. Whether they're in a certain time in camp, things may change. One may be 8 weeks out, one may be 2 weeks out. They can still train in the same time frame in the same weight room. We just need to make sure that we know exactly what they need at that particular time, and we also need to know the athlete and what they need individually. But it all comes down to having a system and a set base of principles so that you can rely upon going further. Yeah. The one thing that I see with coaches is that they have a blanketed approach where they think that one size fits all, and that's definitely not the case when you're talking about mixed martial arts athletes and any athlete in general. Everything is subjective. Everybody needs a particular thing at one point in time because we all are individuals.
Yeah.
So that all comes down to the assessment, right? In the beginning of the camp, or down the line when you're starting up your camp. I like to do a baseline assessment with all my athletes about 9 to 10 weeks out, because 8 weeks out we do start camp.
Sure.
So once I get that, I get basically a knowledge base to understand what exactly they need, whether that be from a physiological standpoint, a structural standpoint, what type of coach do they actually like. Now with like Dustin and Tisha, I've known them for 4 or 5 years now. So it's pretty easy for me to understand them. But if I have a new fighter come in, I need to know exactly what and how I need to coach them. And I need to know exactly how they like to be coached, because that's going to give me an overall base of knowledge to understand what I need to do from an art of coaching standpoint, not just from the science base. Because that's one side that people miss, is they don't know how to communicate with their athletes. So my whole thing is making sure that I have proper communication, and I'm doing the right things at the right times for that individual.
Yeah. And communication is lost a lot between the athlete and the coach, I think, because a lot of coaches, they'll just create templates essentially, and the athlete likes to follow a template. They want to shut their brain off in many ways. You get a few athletes that ask a lot of questions, which is good, partially good. But, so you see, without the athlete communicating, then they're 6 weeks in and they're like, yeah, dude, like my shoulder's been hurting for the last 6 weeks, or I don't feel that exercise at all, or just whatever the conversation is, or they're just, they're unhappy with where they've progressed because it's not in where they want to go. And that's a part that's missed also.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we like to give them a questionnaire and actually see exactly what works, what doesn't work. And then it's always an evaluation process. Every day they come in, we still assess. We assess the movements, because there's gonna be bumps and bruises. They're gonna get hurt. It's a contact sport. And I can't tell you a time when somebody comes into the gym and they're 100%. Mainly, I want to say 99.9% of the time, there's always something going on. Always something, right? So I have to have the correct means to call an audible and auto-regulate on the spot, no matter what. Now, I may have something planned. Don't get me wrong. There's always going to be a plan. If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. But I always have to make sure that I have a plan B so that I can auto-regulate and call an audible if necessary so that we can keep progressions going. Because if not, then you're going to be, sitting there with your thumb stuck up your ass wondering, what do I need to do now? So you need to make sure that you have the ability to change things up on the fly. If you're training any type of athlete in a large setting, especially in a sport like mixed martial arts or any combat sport.